So hello everyone and welcome to day one of the e-talks. Over these 2 days we'll have the opportunity to hear from 9 entrepreneurs. We would encourage you to attend as many of these e-talks as you can. So here at the Heinz Institute, our mission is always to merge theory with practice, and these e-talks are our attempt through which we can actually achieve that. My name is Akash Sapru. I'm the Assistant Professor of Design Thinking and Innovation here at the Heinz Institute. And something that I'm really passionate about is revealing the real insights from people who are living and breathing entrepreneurship on a day-to-day basis. And in the spirit of that, I would engage in a fireside chat with Dwight. I would encourage you to take notes. Some of you have assignments. Encourage you to take notes, and if you want to take notes on your phone, that's okay. But yeah, we'll engage in a conversation for about 30-35 minutes, and then we'll open the floor for Q&A. Okay. All right. So Dwight Peters is a New York-based entrepreneur, realtor, and commercial tenant representative, specializing in helping food entrepreneurs and emerging brands secure their first or next brick-and-mortar locations. Through his work with restaurants, retail startups, and franchise operators, Dwight has positioned himself as a bridge between digital culture and physical storefronts. In addition to his work in real estate, Dwight is also a content creator with a combined social media following of over 500,000 across Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, where he shares insights on businesses, lifestyle, behind-the-scenes journeys, etc. So today, Dwight uses his experience to inspire and elucidate to the next generation of entrepreneurs, showing them how to build brands, create momentum, and transform ideas into sustainable businesses, both online and offline. Let's join in giving him a round of applause. Welcome.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
So, Dwight, let's actually begin with giving us a sense of the various entrepreneurial endeavors that you are engaged in right now, and then we'll take it.
Yeah, definitely. Before I do that, listen, everybody, I promise you, this is not going to be boring. This is going to be so much fun. I'm really here to give you guys as much insight as possible because I sat in your seat, right? How many, just by a show of hands, like how many of you guys are truly interested in entrepreneurship? I just want to like get a good gauge of it versus like how many people just here, you know, because you got to take a class, right? All right, like this is good. All right, perfect. All right, so currently what I do, I'm a commercial broker here in New York. Basically what that means is I help a lot of restaurants and entrepreneurs open up storefronts throughout the city, but specifically in the Bronx. I'm from the Bronx. That's my home. That's the place where I love. And I got tired of having to leave the Bronx to go to Harlem or Brooklyn or Queens to go get good food, right? So I said, you know what? I'm going to take my talents and keep them here in the Bronx and start bringing great restaurants here. Start bringing great businesses here. And I do this in a super creative way by leveraging social media. I'm probably one of the few people that you're going to speak to that understands content creation. I've been able to leverage my 500,000 followers to work with a lot of restaurants to drive traffic to promote their brands while also doing commercial real estate with them. So I'm here to be an open book for you guys and I'll share all of this insight. So yeah, currently what I do, I'm a commercial broker and I leverage social media to be super effective in that.
Excellent. So let's actually take it back. Early childhood, your growing up experiences. Talk to us about where you actually grew up. What was what the time before right now?
Yeah, okay. Sorry, Mom, if you watch this. So I grew up as the middle child, right? I don't know if you guys ever experienced middle child syndrome. If you haven't, it's a real thing, right? So my older brother, he was the smartest one ever. He was always, on the honor roll. He was the good kid. My younger brother, unfortunately, when my mother was pregnant with him, he had some difficulties, so he's special need, so he needed more attention. And then you just had me in the middle. Is this one? Then you just had me in the middle, right? So I was always the curious kid. I was always getting into trouble. Not because I was bad, but because I was curious, trying to figure things out. My family comes from the Caribbean. My mother's Jamaican, my father is Trinidadian. I'm first generation here in the States. I was born here in New York. Growing up in a time, my mother was very concerned about the community that we were growing up in, gang activity. I grew up in the Bronx. And when I was 12, she had the genius idea, like super genius idea, to pack me up and send me to Jamaica for high school. I had no warning. It was literally, it was like an intervention. I came home one day in the summer and my family's there. Everybody's sad. My mom's crying. I'm like, what's going on? And they explained to me, you're going to Jamaica tomorrow. And I was like, yeah, we're going on vacation. Like, why are we all sad? And then they explained to me that I'll be going out there for high school. It was tough at first, right? I'm from New York. I think I had a girlfriend at the time. Like, I was doing my thing. I was 12, but I was rocking, right? I got to Jamaica, and honestly, that changed my life. That broke down and showed me how big the world was for the first time ever. Because I was just used to the Bronx. I was just used to New York. I couldn't even say I was used to America. Like, I don't even think I left New York before 12, right? But going to another country for the first time, and not just going there for a vacation, but had to adapt to the culture. I got to learn about my culture, my Jamaican heritage, but also to see that we hear a lot going on in the news today, but I could promise you, America is still the greatest country on earth, especially when it comes to entrepreneurship, because a lot of my greatest friends that I have from Jamaica, they took education so seriously because that was their gateway out of Jamaica, right, to come here, right? And I was blessed enough just to have a passport, and that made me realize how great of an opportunity I have just being here, where we can make something out of nothing, and there are people that are fighting to come in. So not to go on a political rant, that's not what this is about, but that experience taught me how to really cherish this opportunity.
Absolutely, and this actually resonates with me as well. I mean, I came into the U.S. as an international student to pursue my studies.
I'm pretty sure a few of us have, right? Yeah.
So this is great. Talk to us about your, educational experiences. We are in an educational institution right now. The importance of education, how that built your character, or any experiences if you can recount.
Yeah. So I'm going to start off by saying, education comes to us in many capacities, right? Whether it's through a classroom or it's through the outside world. When I graduated from high school in Jamaica, when I came back to the States, it was time to go to college. I ended up going to Bronx Community College. I studied computer science. I think that's what I put down. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. I'm going to be completely honest. And I ended up flunking out of college, Bronx Community College. I think my GPA was like a 1 point something. Like, I was just there for the girls. I was just there to have a good time. I was young, right? Like a lot of you guys are. But something happened. I started working in retail. I had a job at Old Navy. And on my lunch break for one day, I went to a Barnes & Noble that was there right next door. And I was just walking through, and I saw this book that stuck out to me. And my stepfather, who passed away 2 years ago, rest in peace, he had this book. My stepfather was very entrepreneurial. He was very, he was very militant as well. But he had this book. It was an autobiography of Malcolm X. I'm not sure if any of you guys ever read it. If you guys haven't read it, I challenge you guys to read it. It was a beautiful book. I read that book, and that summer, before I got the book, there was a lot of social things happening, especially within my community. A few of my friends were assaulted by the police. So, we have this weird, I'm trying to figure it out. I'm young, I'm black, I'm in New York. I read Malcolm X's book in probably about 3 days. I couldn't put it down because I felt like he was talking to me. And in the final chapter, there was an interview with Malcolm, and he said his biggest regret was that he didn't go to college to become a lawyer because he think he would have been a great lawyer if he had that opportunity. And that sparked something in me. I was like, I have this opportunity of being able to go to college. Why don't I truly do something with it? So I got inspired. I started to look at my community. I started to look at the things that were happening in my community. I think I woke up politically, and I decided to go back to school. I went right back to Bronx Community College. I brought myself back. I changed my focus to political science. And through that, I just went on a run. My GPA went up. I ended up on the dean's list. I ended up becoming president of the political science club. I was the kid leading rallies and protests. It got pretty extreme because I started to understand that I wanted to work for my community. I ended up becoming president of student government. And yeah, I just wanted to start to figure out a way that I could impact my community. And I thought politics would be the way through that.
Amazing. So you mentioned that you earlier had a lower GPA, but then something changed. What's that something that changed that that propelled you to become an excellent student?
I figured out what I wanted to do, or at least I thought I did. But I had a vision now, right? When I started college, I had no vision. I was just going just to go. But I got very passionate about politics. Everybody that Malcolm X mentioned in his autobiography, I ended up buying their book and I read their biography, and it just became like this little rabbit hole, right? I got very active, and then I saw that through the political science club that there was a lot of opportunities that were being provided, and then I became president of student government, and then a lot of opportunities came from that. So I just got focused. I found a passion that resonated with me.
Excellent, and this is also an insight into the importance of reading in general. Reading as a practice is declining these days. So I think through your message, I think that's one insight that all of us can take, that reading is important.
And not only reading, but also being active on campus. By becoming president of student government, that changed my life. I was going to go to City College to continue the political studies. But one of the board of trustee members, she pulled me to the side. I think we were being a thorn in their side, right? Like we were protesting, we were rallying for any little thing. And she said something to me. She said, Dwight, there's a difference between being loud and effective. Right now you're being loud. How can you channel this to become effective? And I'm looking at her like she's crazy. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, we're doing what we're supposed to do, right? She's like, listen, we're gonna raise the tuition anyway. Like, you're not doing anything on that front. But learn how to use this energy and channel it. And that got me thinking. And then she challenged me one more. She said, instead of going to City College, why don't you go to Baruch and figure out, look towards business. Instead of lobbying for jobs, can you figure out a way to create jobs? And that was a challenge I was never presented with before. So, and through that, I ended up going to Baruch to study entrepreneurship.
Great. So again, entrepreneurs are individuals who go against the grain. They challenge the status quo. So would you say that these experiences, as you were going through these experiences, that's where this entrepreneurial spirit started emerging in you?
Definitely. Also just creativity, right? Sometimes like you have this idea that you want to get out, right? And you have to figure out how to bring it to life. And I think entrepreneurs, we look at ideas like everything's an idea. We probably have 1 million of them, right? But it's that inspiration of, can you actually build this? What does it take to build it? How do you pull this off? Nobody else can see your vision, but you can see it. How do you get other people to see it? How do you get other people to buy into it?
And that's actually a really good point, because that's something we discuss in our classes as well, right? Ideas are dime a dozen. Everyone has a great idea. But what matters for entrepreneurs is it's individuals who actually take action, right? So Dwight, from your experience, can you help us maybe walk through an example wherein you had a brilliant idea, but then you followed that through with action?
Oh man, okay. I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys, right? So when I went to Baruch, my first year, my only year, I'm sorry, Christoph, my only year, I went and I won the business plan competition. And that did something to me, that sparked me. I was like, wait, holy crap, I can actually do this, right? And it was a simple idea. I don't even remember the idea in full capacity, but just getting that validation that I won, that holy crap, like people think my idea is good enough, that set me off on another trajectory. So I took time away. I just haven't went back to Baruch yet, but I will eventually. But I took time away, and I just went on a run of just starting and failing, creating startups, failing, creating startups, learning, getting a little bit better, getting a little bit better. But I just put action to every idea that I had.
Excellent, and that's the important piece, right? Taking action. So this is great, and I think another thing that came to my mind as you were talking about action is, at a general philosophical level, if I were to ask you, what does entrepreneurship actually mean to you?
Man, at this stage of my life, I'm going to be honest with you guys, it's a lot of responsibility, right? Especially if you have a team, if you have people dependent on you. As you get older, people are going to have families that's dependent on your concept, things that you're building. But also on another level, it is the opportunity to create. This is your signature on the world, right? This is something that the world will potentially remember you by. Because you decided to go out and do something, you decided to go out and create something, you decided to put in energy and effort to develop something. And I'm not going to lie, this is probably like one of the greatest times to be an entrepreneur. Gary Vee said this. I was watching, you guys know Gary Vee, right? Please, all right. So Gary Vee said this, I saw this in one of his reels the other day. He said, this is the only time in human history where you could be butt naked in your bed, scratching your butt, just doing whatever, but you could still be super productive on your phone, right? Like you could be sending out super productive emails, you could be creating content at the leverage of just being anywhere, just off this simple device, right? Like this is amazing. We didn't have this 15, 20 years ago. So, and this has made it so much easier. So now's the time. Like if you guys really have an idea, you guys could put, you're one viral video away from doing something amazing, right? Reaching so many people at once.
And you're pretty active on social media, so can you walk us through some of the work you do there, any entrepreneurial ventures that you have along those lines?
Yeah, so I'll tell you guys exactly, right? So social media has probably been one of the biggest and best assets that I built over the past couple of years because it's helping me in real estate so much. Once again, I specialize in restaurants with my commercial real estate. And the fact that I have over 500,000 followers combined, that makes me so much more valuable to restaurants versus another commercial real estate agent, right? Because for the other commercial real estate agent, it's just transactional for them. I get to go help restaurants from an entrepreneurial level. Like first off, not only am I going to help you find the best physical real estate, but I could also help you with your digital real estate, right? I could promote your brand. I could help your brand be seen by so many more people. Like this is a real collaborative approach that I'm taking to it. And that's because I was able to focus and build my social media following. And it's not that hard. It's consistency, right? Taking action, trying. So I teach social media to other realtors throughout the city. And what I realize is a lot of people are afraid to get on social media from a creator standpoint. We consume it, but a lot of people are afraid to create it. And if people continue to do that, they're only making it easier for creators like us because it's less competition, right?
And what would you say, why are people scared? What could be behind some of those fears that they have?
A common theme that I notice is that a lot of people are afraid of what other people are going to think about them.
Okay.
And I don't know if it's because I'm an entrepreneur, but I could care less. I couldn't care less, right?
Yeah.
Also because I'm putting out content that is intentional and something I'm comfortable with. But that's been the great divide that I noticed in my career compared to other realtors so far.
So this is great, like in addition to the actual job of what a realtor is supposed to do, what Dwight is doing is building his social capital. That's important. As students, you should be thinking about that as well. How do you build your social capital? Social media is one way, but there are other avenues. Something to think about because that does pay dividends in the long run. One of the entrepreneurs that I will be talking to today is actually a friend of mine with whom I went to my MBA, for my MBA studies with, and I kept in touch with him, and now he became an entrepreneur 3 or 4 years ago, and now they are back. So again, making connections, keeping those networks, and building your your social capital, that's extremely important.
Guys, you guys know Kai Kassan, right? Like he just had 1 million subscribers, right? Off of this. That is crazy. Yeah.
So this is great. In terms of your like the actual business that you are working on.
Yeah.
Right. Can you help us understand that, just for folks who have no clue about how real estate works?
Definitely. So when I talk to people about real estate, most people are thinking about residential real estate, right? Like you guys see all the shows selling Sunset or whatever, right? These real estate shows, and they're selling like these $1 million condos or whatnot. So you have the residential side, but then a lot of people don't know about the commercial real estate side. And I didn't even know about the commercial real estate side until I was having a conversation with a residential agent. And I was just talking so much about entrepreneurs and how much, I just love working with entrepreneurs. I just went on this whole tangent, and they were like, Dwight, you should think about commercial real estate, specifically leasing. I was like, what is that? He was like, you see all these stores, they all have to sign a lease, and there's a realtor that's involved in helping them with that. And I was like, oh crap, wait, I could do that. And I just got to work, I took action. I'm making it happen.
And are there some aspects of your personality that actually help you become really good at your job?
Yeah, because when I'm having a conversation with entrepreneurs, they know that they're talking to another entrepreneur. Not every realtor is an entrepreneur. For a lot of realtors, this is a career, this is a job for them. I had startups. I know what it is to have employees. I know what it is to have payroll. I understand marketing. I know what it means to get customers. So I get to talk to them in a capacity that they feel like they're talking to a friend or somebody that truly gets it. And that's been such a blessing that I could connect with them on that level.
Excellent. Clearly you are successful at what you are doing, but no success comes without its own fair share of failures. Can you walk us through some of the failures that you've experienced in your life? It could be in the personal realm that shaped you and made you the person that you are today, but it could also be on the professional front, so whatever you're comfortable with.
Man, so many failures, but honestly, when I take a step back, on a micro level, they might look like failures, but when you zoom out on a macro level, it was just preparation. I promise you, because I just told Chris so, everything I'm doing now, I've been doing since college, right? I just been getting a little bit better at it, a little bit better at it, a little bit better at it. I've been building communities since college. That's why I got into politics. In college, political science club. I started at political science club. I always had a way of bringing people together. Now I get to do it through social media. So it's just been failure, but learning, tweaking, getting better, maturing, getting better, trying again, getting better, trying again. I had a startup that was doing incredibly well, lost it all, got depressed. I had probably one of the coolest startups ever. I was doing marketing for Kickstarter campaigns, and I moved to DR. Like, I was living in DR for 4 years. I was living on the beach, right? Like, I was living like a rapper out there. It was the best time ever, right? But then I dealt with depression, right? And I had to figure out how to bounce back from that. And then we had our daughter. My daughter's 7, and she helped me a lot with that. She gave me a purpose again. So you're going to go through things. You're going to go through things in life. It's just about how do you bounce back and how do you keep going.
And is it just like bouncing back from failure? Is it just the person, like the drive that you have internally, or is it also your support system and people around you that help you do that?
Definitely support system. I also think it's internal too. Like, it's innate. Like, you have to have this drive. You have to have this hunger, right? Like, I refuse to lose. Every day I wake up and ask myself, who's going to stop me? And every day that question gets harder and harder to answer, right? Like, that's just how I'm wired. Like, I'm going to win, and I'm patient. I could wait. It might not come today, it might not come tomorrow, but I know it's going to come as long as I keep swinging.
Amazing. So, from your experience, because you yourself are an entrepreneur, you work with other entrepreneurs, but also non-entrepreneurs.
Correct.
Are there any differences that you see between these two groups of individuals? Anything that just stands out to you?
The world is changing so much that the line is almost getting a little blurred now too, because you have entrepreneurs, but you also have intrapreneurs, right? Right? Like, not everybody has to go start a startup. You could be so good at what you do that you're probably the missing component for somebody else's startup or for somebody else's project, where you can help that founder take it to the next level without taking on all of the risk, right? You can let the founder take on the risk, and you come in and you play a pivotal role because you bring some entrepreneurial skills as well. But ultimately, it just comes down, whether you're that or this, it comes down to people that's willing to take action, have ideas, and see it through.
And that's actually what we teach here at the Heinz Institute. We focus on the entrepreneurial mindset.
Yeah.
And what we feel is that that mindset, you can actually apply it anywhere. It can be, you can start your own business, you can work within an existing business,
Yeah.
you can apply these principles to your own life as well.
If I knew what I knew now, I probably would have worked in somebody else's business and like not take the headache of like starting stuff. But nah, yeah, you definitely can. Yeah.
Exactly, and that's the route that a lot of entrepreneurs actually take, right? They're already working in an industry, they learn the ins and outs of that industry, and then they find a loophole or a gap that the industry is not addressing. And they are the best person to actually identify that gap because they are embedded in the industry itself, right? So keep this in mind. Like, we don't expect you to become entrepreneurs on day one. It's the entrepreneurial mindset that we are trying to inculcate here.
Yeah.
So, great. So I think the next question I have for you is along the lines of attention and prioritizing things, because you yourself are engaged in so many different endeavors, so many different ventures.
Yeah.
How do you decide, when and how to pay attention to which project? How do you prioritize things, and how do you pay attention?
A couple of ways. One thing, the first thing is, if it's not on my calendar, it doesn't exist. Like, I live by my Google Calendar. If it's not on there, it doesn't exist. So that means I'm conscious of what I put on my calendar, and I put everything on my calendar. So that's been super helpful. And then also, I have my North Star. Like, I know what my goal is for within the next 12 months, within the next 5 years, and every decision that I make, I always refer back to it, just to make sure that's in full alignment with what I'm trying to accomplish.
Great, great. And again, this question goes along the lines of what you already alluded to, which was some of the failures that you experienced. As an entrepreneur, you're doing so many things for the first time, right?
Yeah.
Maybe someone else has done those things, but for you, the person, it's the first time that you're taking those steps. Can you recount any mistakes that you made along the way? That you, let's say, if you look back, you're like, okay, I could have done those things differently.
A whole bunch. We get to most recent. Man, okay. So here we go. When I got into commercial real estate, dealing with leases, there's nobody in my office that's doing what I'm doing. So I'm pretty much spearheading this chapter for the brokerage in the area in which I am. And I had to learn quick. I got a customer very quick, and I had to learn on the fly how to make sure that this is done correctly. This is a legal document that you're signing, especially when it comes to a lease, right? I had a couple of close calls where I didn't know just because of experience at the time I didn't have. And I was fortunate enough that the other broker that was working the deal, pulled me to the side, hey, Dwight, you need to do this, you need to do that, right? So I got saved on that. But these are things that come through experience, right? And sometimes you just need to be in the game, whatever you're doing, long enough to build up that experience as you go.
Excellent. So the larger message here is that things will not go perfectly every time.
Especially in the first time.
They just will not, right? Especially if you're engaged in entrepreneurship. Like, the assumption there is those things have not been done before. So don't expect to get things right in the first place. And it always helps to be surrounded by people who are supportive of you. So like in your case, right? So placing yourself in a position where you have developed that social capital, wherein people are actually willing to help you out.
Yeah, right? Definitely. Yeah. And don't be afraid to mess up. Like, hurry up and mess up, so you can hurry up and learn from it and apply it to the next scenario that comes across your path.
Exactly, because taking action is the most important
thing.
That's
the most important thing. You build that momentum. And that's what it's all about. You want the momentum so you can keep building off of it. Once the ball starts rolling, keep it going. Do not stop. Whatever you do, don't take your foot off the gas.
So Dwight, all of us work in progress, all of us are. I want to understand from your perspective, what does success mean to you, and how and if that understanding has developed and evolved over the years as you've had these various different experiences?
So success, you could define it by a monetary amount. I'm not at the monetary amount that I want yet. I don't think I'll ever be, right? Because it's math, it's a number. I don't think there's ever a number I will finally be happy with. I want it all. But I am successful in the fact that I get to take my daughter to school every day. I get to pick her up every day. I was president of her Parent-Teachers Association last year. I'll probably run again and be president of her Parent-Teacher Association. I get to go on every school trip, right? I get to pop up in her classroom whenever I want because I have the freedom of time. I don't have a boss. I get to wake up whenever I want. I get to schedule my day however I want. But it's because I'm very efficient at what I do. If I become a multi-millionaire, that's the cherry on top. But the fact that I have so much time that I could give to my family and to my friends, I can make myself available now to come do this, right? I'm successful. I feel incredibly rich. And I know the millions are coming. When I look at my daughter, I'm reminded of how grateful I am that daddy's there, right? Daddy's there in an instant. Whenever she needs me, daddy pops up for her. So yeah.
That's an amazing example. I think the larger message for all of us is define success for yourself. Don't let others define success for you, right? It means different things to different people, and it doesn't have to be one thing. It could be multiple things, right? Based on the phase in life that you're at right now and where you want to be. That understanding and those motivations might change.
Definitely. It's funny because yesterday a brokerage, they're recruiting me, and I went to the office and I took a look. It's a beautiful place. But I'm like, dude, you guys do like 10 hours a day here, man. And they're like, yeah, you're going to be with a great team and we're going to crush it. And I'm like, no, I want to go pick my baby up. Like, I'm actually need to go pick her up from school. And it's not because I have to pick her up. Well, I do have to pick her up. Her mom will kill me if I don't. But like, I want to, right? So I get to design a life that fits perfectly for me, and that is success.
Dwight, have you had experiences working with teams, within teams? And if you had, can you talk to us about how those experiences were? And the reason I ask this question is because at the university, in our classes, we often divide our students into teams and then they engage in group work. So if there are maybe some insights, because we've been talking about you as an individual and how you've been doing different things. So your experiences working within a team, and if something stands out to you.
Definitely. I've been working on teams since college, even by being just part of the political science club and student government. That's a team. You have to get people on one accord. You learn a lot about delegating. There's only so much that you could do by yourself, right? Even fast forward, one of the businesses I still have is a painting company. So we do commercial and residential painting. I never painted a day in my life. I would be a horrible painter, but I have a team of painters, right? And we play our roles accordingly to make the bigger picture beautiful, right?
What was the motivation behind this company, the painting company?
Man, there's so many. Okay, here we go. I want to keep you guys for too long. It's a little rabbit hole. So, I mentioned I had this marketing company that I was doing in DR. When my daughter was conceived, I moved back to New York. When she was born, I took time off. My daughter's mother, she wanted to go to school to study to become a nurse. So I said, you know, it's going to be daddy daycare. So it was daddy daycare for the first 3 years of Parker's life. Parker broke my iPhone one day. She was watching some show on YouTube. She broke my iPhone. I took my iPhone to the phone repair shop in the mall. And the guy fixed my phone in like 10 minutes. And he charged me like $200. And I saw the line of people he had. He had like 8 people just waiting. I was like, hold on, I could do simple math. Like, he's killing it, right? At this time, that entrepreneurial bug was coming back. I was like, okay, I'm ready for my next startup. I promise you, I'm not going to keep this story long. I'm going to try to speed it up, but I have to go through all of this. So I live in the Bronx. I ended up getting a co-working space in the WeWork in Harlem on 126th Street. Long story short, I turned that WeWork into a phone repair shop, and this happened around COVID. everybody shut down. The Apple store shut down, all the malls shut down. But there was a business in that WeWork that deemed that building to be an essential building, so it stayed open. Nobody was in the WeWork except for me. Everybody was scared of getting COVID. I would show up every day, and we made a killing fixing iPhones because we were the only ones open, right? And then one day a lady came in and she asked, what else do you do? And I was like, what do you need done? She was like, I just moved to Harlem. I would love if I could get some help to paint my apartment and mount some TVs. I was like, hold on 1 second, let me go use the bathroom real quick. I went to the bathroom, I called my cousin, he's a handyman. I was like, hey Craig, can we paint this lady's house? He was like, yeah, we could do it. And I came back to her, and I told her, I was like, hey, yeah, we could do that as well. And then I opened up a home repair service for the business. So it was just an opportunity, it was just asking, how can we help? What can we do? And that led a whole new chapter of another startup that I had.
That's actually very impressive. Building one business on top of the other.
It's funny, now that I think about it, holy crap. The way how I got into real estate is because of my painting company. We worked with so many realtors. Every time a realtor has an apartment or a house to put on the market, they would hire us to paint it. And one of the realtors, she just kept bugging me. She's like, Dwight, go get your license. I was like, for what? Like, I'm having so much fun. I don't know if I want to do it. You guys make it seem scary. It's rough, right? She's like, just trust me. Go get your license. Like, you'll figure it out. And wow, now that I think about it, it's because of that business that's how I'm in commercial real estate. Yeah, wow.
That's actually a perfect example of how entrepreneurs operate. So they tread a thin line between being confident, but at the same time being open-minded. So in your case, you were open-minded enough to take that advice and actually go in that direction, right? You're a confident person, so one of the downsides of confidence at times is we believe so much in ourselves that we close ourselves to any advice or very legitimate suggestions that might be coming our way. And that's a thin line that all of us, especially entrepreneurs, have to tread, right? Being confident, but also being open-minded at the same time.
Definitely.
Great. So I'll ask one more question in the interest of time, and then we'll open it for students to ask questions. We have all these entrepreneurship enthusiasts in front of us. Maybe there's one advice, or maybe two, three, any advice that you would like to share with them.
I have one advice for you guys. If you guys are entrepreneurs, I have one advice. Go get a customer today. Go get a customer today. Whatever idea that you have, go try to get a customer today. That's my only advice for you guys. Like, take action. Go get a customer today. If you have a concept, if you have a service, if you have a product, go get a customer today. Can you do something within the next 24 hours that's going to bring you closer to that? That's it. Take action. I'm not going to give you guys any fluff. Go get a customer. That's what being an entrepreneur is about. Sales, right? Transactions, right? Delivering a finished product to somebody. And testing the market. Make sure people actually want whatever you're creating. And you could do that fairly quickly without wasting a lot of time by trying to validate it now. So my advice to you, if you can hear my words, go get a customer today, and that will start you on an incredible journey.
Great, and that's what we do here at the Heinz Institute. The idea is for students to actually, especially in the advanced classes, to actually go outside, interact with real people, understand the problems that they are facing. Those ideas probably will not come sitting inside an office space or in a class, right? When you talk to people, start taking action, that's when that understanding of the problem also evolves and emerges. Right. Great. Excellent. So we'll open the floor for questions now. And all questions are fair game. Who would like to go first? Tommy?
How's it going? My question is, you mentioned about social media and how you got started. For someone who is like an entrepreneur who wants to start, what's your advice for them?
For social media?
Yeah.
Pick up the phone and record. Like, literally, like, you have it right there in your lap. Like, record a video right now, right? Like, just pick up the phone. This thing is not gonna bite you. Like, I promise you. And you know what's the coolest thing about social media? Like, this is probably one of the coolest things about social media. The coolest thing about social media is if you post something and you don't like it, you can delete it. Like, you can literally just delete it. Like, press the delete button, right? but pick up and record. And you're going to create, you're going to learn. You're going to figure out what sticks and what doesn't stick. I had a video that just did 2.2 million views a couple of days ago. And I'm not even in the video. I'm not even talking. Like, if you guys follow my page, 99.9% of my followers don't even know what my voice sounds like, unless they go through my stories, because then I talk in my stories. But you don't have, there's so many ways to create content that could fit each of your personality types. If you don't want to show your face, you do not have to show your face. If you don't want to talk, you do not have to talk. But it's about putting out content that's going to connect with your audience, right? That's what it's really about. And there's so many ways you could do it. But just start. And if you don't like it, delete it, and then start again and try again.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem, buddy.
Christoph.
Young man in the back.
I have a question, but I found something in my phone.
Nah, don't do that.
Crowdcases.org is an online marketplace with a social mission.
Yeah.
Right, remember that?
Yeah, man.
That was the winning pitch.
That was the winning pitch, right? So I came up with this iPhone accessory company, and what we would do was partner up with a nonprofit for the week, and we will open it up to artists all throughout the country where they get to design a case. So they'll submit drawings. So we'll partner up with a nonprofit, let's say it's for making wells, drinking wells throughout the world. Artists will draw a case that reflected it about water or something, and then the crowd would vote on it, and then that design would be turned into a case. But holy crap. And we would donate portions of the proceeds to the nonprofit. But yeah, wow, man. Wow, that was a long time ago.
We have another question over here.
So my name is Jared. My
Jared.
question to you is, you said you read Malcolm X's autobiography, right?
Yeah.
A lot of entrepreneurs talk about the books that they read that changed their perspective on
Yeah.
the world.
Yeah.
What are a couple other books that you've read that have possibly changed?
So
the
that
way
book
you
is definitely at the top of the list because it sent me on a whole other journey. But probably the other most effective book that I've ever read as an entrepreneur is The E-Myth by Michael Gerber. If you guys get to read that is such a powerful book because it breaks down how to truly build a business by replicating you. You can't do everything by yourself, so force yourself to delegate immediately. With my painting company, I knew I could paint, but I chose not to paint because I wanted to build a business, right? So my job was to hire painters, right? So I had to separate myself from doing the actual task to running the business. And even what I'm applying now to real estate, I'm doing a lot of the heavy lifting now because it's early, but I'm documenting all of my processes so I could build a team and delegate. This is how you build a business. So the E-Myth is probably like the other most profound book that I read that I could recommend.
How do you spell that?
The letter E dash myth.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem, buddy.
Okay, next question over here.
Thank you. My name is Tyler, and
Nice to meet you, Tyler.
nice to meet you. I was wondering, like, because from an entrepreneurship stance, like, I've started to kind of notice that, like, it takes a lot of, like, time to, like, kind of succeed to where you really, like, get to where you are in terms of your business. And I know you have to, like, fail first as many times as possible to really get there. So if you don't mind me asking you, like, and I don't know if you've answered this, like, how long did it take to get to that point?
I think I'm still at that point. I think I'll forever be at this point, right? Because I'm constantly creating, constantly trying new ideas. But it gets better. It gets easier. It gets a little bit more lucrative every time you swing and you get better. But it doesn't have to take long for you. One of you guys might knock it out the park immediately. And you never know unless you cash that ticket in, right? Like each of you guys are holding a lottery ticket when it comes to entrepreneurship. It might have took me a while. It might not take you guys a while. You guys might be super lucky, right, and figure it out even quicker. But the whole concept is you don't know unless you try. You don't know unless you cash that ticket in. So hurry up and cash it in. And if it's a dud, then cash in another one, then cash in another one. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem, Tyler.
It's also not being afraid of failure.
Yeah. I have nothing to lose, right?
Oh,
Hello, my name is Matt
Nice to meet you, Matt.
as well. Question, so like with all your businesses you started, like the phone repair,
Yeah.
even getting into real estate and the painting business, how are you able to go into something that you may not like know anything about, have much experience with, and how are you able to get clients and then be successful?
That's a great question, and one of the reasons why I'm able to do it is because you could be a business owner without doing the technical part of the business, and that's something I'm pushing myself to get quicker and better at that. So the phone repair shop, I opened up a phone repair shop. I never fixed an iPhone a day in my life. I was on YouTube, right, while fixing the first iPhone. I got really good at it. But then as soon as I got good at it, I called my friends that used to work at Apple that was looking for work, and I was like, yo, come fix these phones. They were geniuses, right? So I tried to figure out how to separate myself from doing the labor and find people that are really good at that labor, because they're specialists at that. My job is just to grow the business, do the marketing, get the sales, right? And I think because I'm able to do that, I get to move a little bit quicker than other people that want to do whatever the service is. I try, as soon as I know the service works, I step away from it. Now I'm trying to just hurry up and replicate it and get other people to do it so that we could grow quick.
And I'll just add something real quick to what you just said. I think entrepreneurs, what they do is they are really good at identifying problems that others are overlooking. And they can always assemble a team of people who specialize in solving that problem, right? Our society values problem solving. All of us are being trained to become problem solvers in some way, shape, or form. Often in the process, we ignore problem identification, right? And that's what entrepreneurs are really good at, identifying problems.
I have another question.
Yeah, sure.
So you talked about separating yourself from the business. My question to you is, if you were starting a business fresh and didn't have any capital, let's say you had very minimal capital and you can't really get away from it too much.
Like all of the businesses I started, every single business I started, it started with, what's it called, MVP? Minimal viable product, right? Like no money, right? I would come up with a concept and I would try to pre-sell it as quickly as possible. That's why I'm telling you guys, go get a customer today. You guys might not, but you guys will be one step closer, right? It costs nothing to create a landing page, right? And even now it's even quicker. You go put out a reel saying, hey guys, I'm about to launch XYZ. Click the link in my bio to pre-order it. I'll let you know when it's dropping. Just to see the interest. Okay, are people interested in this? Oh, holy crap, this one's actually performing well. Let me spend a couple of dollars, run some ads, get some more people involved. And then launch a Kickstarter campaign if you want to crowdfund, or yeah. But there's so many ways, like you do need money, but at the same time, you don't need money, if that makes sense. Like you can get proof of concept fairly quickly, even quicker now. Like you could really validate your concept in 24 to 48 hours now.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Anyone else?
I have another question.
Okay. And then to this number.
So you talked about like the perfect schedule. What time do you usually wake up every single morning? When do you start your day?
I wake up every morning at 5:30. And I got to get my daughter to school at 7:20. Yeah, so I wake up at 5:30. I work out in the morning before she wakes up at 6:30, and then then my day starts after I drop her off. I only work between after I drop her off and 4 o'clock, so I start to shut everything down like at 3:30. Like people hate it at my office. Like all those other realtors, like they're putting in like 10-hour days. I refuse to do that. I'm not killing myself, right? But I'm super efficient, and I get to leverage over the assets that I have. But yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, no problem. But you guys are young. Put in 12 hours a day. You guys got it.
Hi, my name is Alessandra.
Nice to meet you, Alessandra.
Nice to meet you. My family's been in the restaurant business for 40 years this year, and we have been exploring options, me and my mom specifically, to branch off and use the name but create a new business, and we've been finding it hard to figure out where to strategically place that business in order to be successful. So do you have any tips on how to figure out where is the right place for your business?
I would need a little bit more information, but that's a conversation probably you and your mom, we can sit down and talk, and I can like really deep dive into it once I get like a true understanding of what you guys are doing. So yeah, let's definitely connect after this.
We have time for one last question.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth.
Nice to meet you, Elizabeth. Hi.
Nice to meet you too. One question I had, you said you worked with a lot of specialists. Once you started up a business, you worked with those specialists.
Yeah.
What is the most important thing you learned from working with such specific people and such specific specialists?
Allow people to own their roles, right? Like, don't micromanage people. Like, I hate being micromanaged, and I hate micromanaging people. I don't feel like I should have to micromanage you, right? And own it. Whatever role you're in, own it. Allow them to own it. Allow them to bring you ideas. There's things you can't see because they're looking at it from a different scope, right? But yeah, allow people to own their roles.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So thank you so much, Dwight. This was a
pleasure.
pleasure and a privilege for us
It's a
that you
privilege for me, yeah.
that you could spend this time with us. Students, if you have any other questions, you can just network with Dwight, and thank you all for joining us. Let's give him a round of applause. Thank you so much.